tell you what it's time to do. Watch Robin Tooth build a 302.
Hey now, it's January 2012, and we're back at Project 302. Steve, it's been a year and a half?
Year and a half, been a while.
So we've had plenty of time to ponder things. I've been on the search to find somebody that would really be interested in doing the engine swap, and I've found that person and that shop. We'll have more details later. Today, our mission is to just basically get the fasteners that we need to hook the transmission up with the engine so we can get that assembled drivetrain to the shop that we're going to go to. Don't know if we were going to film anything today, but we'll see what happens.
That's it.
Okay, well we're gathering our fastener information to mate the transmission and the engine, and Steve's jotting the sizes down we need, but we found yet another dilemma, huh, Steve?
Another dilemma.
Show us what we've got down here in our dilemma. And I want you to focus on how nicely I painted that, though, too, because that was rusty. Looks good.
It looks excellent.
But what's wrong with it?
So do a test fit.
We don't have to. Yeah, go ahead.
We see that this is the wrong adapter plate for this particular transmission.
Adapter plate. We were wondering what we would call that. Is adapter plate a good term?
You could call it that.
All right, but the main problem is all the mounting bolts line up except for the starter.
Yeah, the starters don't line up.
That's where we would come up with the word "oh crap," because we thought we might have the wrong transmission, but that's not really the case, huh?
That's right.
Okay, well that's...
With the plate, you're good to go.
And that's a junkyard item, or on the internet, or maybe even a brand new one from Summit or someplace, huh?
Hey, you know the drill. You're usually pretty good at bugging this out. You might find it on the internet.
Project 302 continues with questions. Love it. Okay, here's the story. Check out what we've got. Professor Tooth is back. What we've got here today is a milestone. We are going to get this motor off of Steve's engine stand and onto the custom cradle that I have put together. So hopefully this motor will be sitting on the custom cradle I've made in the next scene, and then we're going to mate it up with the transmission.
That's it.
This should be a milestone day, because after we do that, the next step is to get the car down to the speed shop and get it put in. Alright, wish us luck. Next scene will show if we did good or not. Or killed ourselves. Okay, Steve, we've had to make a few adjustments to our cradle so it's the right size. So I've had to do a little wood shop over here and slice off some pieces. Not bad, not bad. While I was doing that, you put on the block plate and the flex plate, which some people would call that a flywheel, but a flywheel is only in where?
With a car with a clutch.
A car with a clutch. Okay, so our next step is to start getting the transmission going, and we need to put the purple torque converter into the transmission. So now the riddle begins. What were you just telling me?
We're going to put the torque converter into the transmission, holding it into place. We will mate the transmission up to the block, and then we have to fasten the torque converter to the flex plate using a small inspection area down here at the bottom. We will have to turn the motor in order to do that, to access all locations around the perimeter of the flywheel. We'll have to turn the motor. Let's hope that doesn't give us some problems.
Yeah.
It'll be a struggle to rotate this motor around to fasten those bolts.
See, now I didn't think about this part. I had no idea. Wish us luck. Okay, Tooth, so before we put the torque converter in, we have to put some automatic transmission fluid in it.
Right.
And why do we do this? To comply with ISO 17025?
No, Rob. We're doing this to help the transmission prime up a little faster once the engine is running and getting its hydraulic fluid circulating.
Okay, so we're using the Mercon 5.
That's what was specified?
Yep.
And that's the stuff to use.
And if I pour this in, it's not going to get all over the place?
It has nowhere to go.
Alright, good.
It's all internal.
Okay. So we're just going to put 1 quart in?
1 quart should be enough. We don't want to overfill it, otherwise the fluid will start spilling out of it as we handle the thing.
Okay, now
it probably holds 2 quarts.
Some articles I said that, you know, the late 60s versions of these took type F fluid.
Right.
But as I read further, they said kind of the newer version of it is this Mercon V or Mercon 5.
Mercon 5.
Yeah, alright.
Cool. Improved.
Do we put this back on?
Nope.
Oh, okay. What would happen if we put that back on?
You couldn't. The input shaft has to slip through that hole.
Now we have to be careful not to spill this out of here, huh?
Right. And another thing we want to do is apply a little bit of this lubricant in and around this area, because this engages into a seal.
Okay.
We want that seal to have a little bit of lubricant on it. We don't want that seal to run dry when this thing fires up.
Right on.
So we'll put a little bit of the Mercon on this surface, and if I'm tricky, I'll use my finger and try to get a little bit in the seal itself.
Alright.
In the transmission.
Cool. Cool. Next scene, hopefully the torque converter is in the transmission. Okay, look at that baby in there, Tooth.
Sweet, I like it.
The purple torque converter. Debbie asked, why is it purple? We didn't have a really good answer though, did we?
No, she was upset about it. Apparently she's not a lover of the color purple.
Yeah. So she wanted us to paint that, because she knows it's purple inside the transmission now. She's going to think about that every time she gets in the car.
She doesn't know.
Yeah. Okay, so next step is what?
Alright, now we're going to mate the transmission to the engine, using care to align and mate the mounting points of the torque converter to the flex plate holes. This takes a little bit of fooling around, but I do marvel at Rob's custom-made card here. This is actually pretty cool.
You like that? I'm proud of that.
Old school. I have a big old piece of cardboard and I'm dragging transmissions and things like that around on cardboard. Rob's custom card here is pretty sweet.
And I'm hoping that they work together so that I can just move it around the garage until we take it down to the speed shop. Dig it. All right. Hopefully we'll have this thing mated up. Okay, this looks really cool. We've got the transmission on. We had to do some jiggling around.
Right, you have to get that to fit. It takes a little bit of jiggling around.
And you said we've dodged 2 bullets, maybe more?
2 bullets.
What bullets did we dodge?
The bullet I'm most happy about, we were concerned about having to rotate the engine in order to tighten the bolts that fasten the flex plate in the torque converter. We would have to turn the engine, and it's difficult to turn. We had to use the front crank snout bolt, and luckily we were able to do that and turn the motor without having to use other methods which would have been less fun.
This has not gone together as easy as we thought, but we are making great progress.
We are.
This, my friends, is an awesome sight.
Sweet.
Next is to put the starter on?
Starter.
Love that. Love that.
Home stretch.
Okay, well, we got the starter on. This little baby right here, that's cranking the motor over. So what we have to do now is, this is the last bullet.
The last bullet.
We need to make sure that this fits in that little notch I cut out. So we're going to lower this bad boy down. Are we done?
If we dodge the last bullet,
we might
wish us
be done.
luck.
All right. Dude,
this is it.
We did it. We did it. Look at this. The custom cradle worked after a little modification this morning. Transmission is on. Dipstick is on. The starter is on. The notch for the starter was spot on perfect. Custom work by moi after the engineering advice from Val. This is awesome. We are done putting together Project 302 until it comes time to get it fully assembled with the carburetor, distributor, wires, all the linkages hooked up to get it started. This is a milestone. The next step is to get the car down to Walden Speed Shop, get the engine down to Walden Speed Shop, and let them do their work. Awesome. Nice work, Tooth. Beer time. Beer time. All right.
Oh, the boys will be back now. You're part of the crew. See you next time on Project 302.